NFM Radio, Emudaho. NFM Radio, Emudaho. Minia, see fire will burn you. I want NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejwada kopem memneda. And on song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Say dear, yenam top connect so e manisika de bagana if we wiase fa na nyina yentia kapre ane aye free top connect amasika mane aye mrekra ne wo hia ne se wo be download with top connect app no e Play Store dia ma wo Android phone and so we use iPhone so or Apple Store na download the top connect aye simple kra top connect wa manda radio num so wo Europe North America and Asia wo mane wo dofu sika fa top connect so aye ntem na na mawa hoto swonso sese die sika manu edi foforo kra any top connect so we yan chechemu bia for top connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect our Belfont interfidie nyina so top connect fesika mane wa dofo sunjemu a untia kapre top connect yensu ye die ni
Let me go straight to the point. We will find wada. Once you attack and send be says so you work a see come air conditioner and also dumb air conditioning no and said that more can see no crane say one funny papa and installation now mountia with everything called enterprise air conditioning installation at the Mawa Udamo a Rubia Okanu a never cold room it's a cold stores and a Bavia you didn't ever see I was saying you know everything called enterprise every nice one at your Mawa a Rubia no but you dika you install central air conditioning split air conditioning car air conditioning never solar panels also you want a nice at the Mawa or you be a straight now to your body will fee so what do you say and our gas nasa say you come with the anafia dear and our co-store dear nina a very nice and quick but we will be you don't be yet the amount most of more bridge sit down my can over to me afraid you can lie with so yeah be install air conditioning be amamu Frank was 447508650279 wager adjacent Ghana fire service wow France 0544489343 and 0302906276 your website you know everythingcode.org and I send you email kjamwako@yahoo.co.uk everything code enterprise air conditioning master no
NFM Radio emudaho
President Nanado Efrem Matheson sunyane na mewo makotena awonu Holland akọ sam infifure sika kakra ni nyaaye no me dia ba mia me maimu Ghana dia ba beto registered bank JN bank yi President Nanado Uber TV so be ka kire Ghana for say JN bank anye na dwuma yi ti waje bank na licenses no with the customers ni sika be mo 3 years muni Mansa Musa sika kakra ka ye no so 550 million media kwa to commercial bank na me dim say commercial bank de me dim sika koto ho a e save President Nanado enam IMF bosiana wo kwa ko boninti osimi mi sika 550 million na odi akwa koye adwuma nya interest wo so no once the koran onfa mame mi sika trend no so o se onfa mame je se 2024 na sika no interest ketuwa no a menya no obema mi mu 5%. Menya adwuma wo Ghana. Mintimi so enko Holland se me koye adwuma. Mimfi akọ animu kakra. Kwan ben so na mefa so a me na meyire ne memba ibedidi. Mr. President. Mesero se me ma se me be street carefree ho. Mia mi sika makosam infifre enya no. Mesero se obema mensa aka. Obi bia obi tie saa me audio me recording yi bi no. Mesram se mo de beto mo platform so ebetimi afa so ma President Nanado nensaka wenyama sem yi bi etie Ghana mpanyinfo mesram so se mo ne President Nanado be kasa ama me damase.
Good morning President Nanado Adankwa Akufo-Addo no pay me bano boko Midin the ASP retired Franklin Nati. Mesun Ghana ewo police mu 24 plus years. Na mi gratuity me san kano mi dito bond 2 years. Aka 1 year this year September 2023 na mi bond no amateur wu adwina wo de ba ye say wakoboka ana wa bugana abofom enti me brama bre sika medi to bond no commercial bank no onfa mame we enye am robber ene be chimi jimi sika o ɔman panyin a yɛato abama no sɛ ɔnhwɛ yɛ so mmerɛ a wofuru plane 18,000 pounds an hour nkurɔfoɔ ka kyerɛ wo wante mmerɛ a wofa so many ministers sɛ ɔmo no na wonye ɔmo bɛtumi ayɛ adwuma nkurɔfoɔ ka kyerɛ wo wante ɛnɛ your incompetence nti me brɛ a mabrɛ me di sika yɛde tua me ka sɛ gratuity memfa hwɛ me ho so no wosi wafa nti sɛ 2033 sɛ me mmanom na wopɛ sɛ ɔmo bɛgye sika no anaa me nananom a mennim president w'ani die mu o mesrɛ wo wo nua no a ne bank edi enim egi loans no mfaso a wanya no mesrɛ wo ma no mfa nsa mfaso no ekotu sika no me sika no mfa ma me nanado wotrim yɛ den papa obi a ma yɛ dwuma Ghana mmara kyerɛ sɛ 24 years plus no yentua meka as a retired officer no musi wontua meka me nya 60 years here nanado mesrɛ me bisa wo have you been a civil servant in Ghana before? Have you worked as a civil servant? Please. Nanado. Mimpese. Mbe kasatiao. Mimpese mbe dumi wusu eni ubusiya debi. Midi yao esreo. Tise na Mr. Matheson. Efri sunyani esreo no. Jai misika mami. Midin the ASP Franklin Kwesi Nate. Mi tome bon wo commercial bank. It was Accra North branch. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Anybody who receives this, please send it to as many platforms for Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo to see, to hear, and to see. Or his cousin Ken Oforiatta should hear. Please, 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 Nanado, I'm not supposed to beg you. Because when you were begging that you should be tried, I remember traveling from Kumasi to Koforidua to vote for you 2016, thinking you are bringing something on board. I regretted it. I have regretted all my life. Some friends told me, "Anka unya accident or question na uya." Well, Nanado, please, whoever received this message, forward it to as many platforms. Let Nanado hear me and ensure I have my money. Thank you.
What's name wacha? Mama inji 2 years. Says here the fear be 2 years. I want them. What's name? What's name 2 years? We are 2 years ago. Says here no. So dan someone has said per se. Open single room. Open single room. Says here no put 600. Put 500. Put 700, 800. You're dying. Says here agents for age 100 CDs for viewing fee, and I say 80 Ghana for viewing fee. Just show you the room. Says here if you are for beer, your mother am agent for Uchia 9,600. Also Uchia agent 900, 600, 900 and almost 1,000 CDs. Why? Says here you to the end day. Why? Like why? What? Like why? Hey, like it's serious. Say, Matsna demo 2 years, I'm paying 8,000. Now I'm supposed to pay 9,600. And you're taking the 2 years. You take 1 year and put. Because you see, me 6 months in 1 year. Sesi ade wo ye adwuma me fiera wo be boaboa no busumi pay a de be ma say 600 or say 700 you have to eat only small one pay because a whole month no pay enti baka wo a be den wo ma hwe bibi yi o wo ma hwe bibi yi wo man mu ampani fo mo nka ho asem hwe na youth for ne ye bre na ye kunkum ye ni how a direct inti ye be kin ponti no wo be kom ye kun Bobe koma ye kunti youth nti ye bra no muhu edan sem kunye adai how Ghana ye ble papa adai and the fiera walk in nka jeferesa me patro me pedai mod be ka se hu agent viewing fees or do cut them or bet you 80 CDs and now say 100 CDs. And then there's some man dying who could have 600. Oh, nothing room name. Or do 2 years, 600 CDs, 2 years. Because of that, into the ultimate data or another person or two. Now or do a proof of a show on 600, 500. Then they would turn into a person who 2 years. Ati mu nka ho hwe man ye say youth ne ye bre ye ya ne ye beto abo ne ye aso ye to aba na me de me influence nko for keke
NFM Radio emu da ho NFM Radio Minua, tie fire will burn you. I want NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejwa da kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do.
Right. Just tune in. So I will say you are just welcome. You're on time. Not much has been said already. As we speak, I delayed because I had a very good friend who called me all the way from central London. His name is Mr. Ted Kofi. Mr. Ted Kofi asking me a question in Fanti. Na coronation, then. And so I had to spend almost 30 minutes telling my very good friend, my senior brother, Ted Kofi, what I think about the coronation, which is not much at all. I don't have that time even to think of it, let alone consider it. If other people, especially from Africa, have got their king and they are coming to celebrate with him, that's all to it. It's good enough. They can carry on. I'm Mansa Musa dear. Sebi, my dream would do. Near Kosovo, we are so a dozen. Now, my friend who said, just like when I was a kid in Bema Camp all those years, I remember. I was a little kid. We watched black and white television. And I will never forget the films we used to watch. GBC One television. The one of them was The High Chaparral. The High Chaparral. And the other one, I think Cisco and Pancho. You see, cowboy film were gradually being indoctrinated. So much so that when we grew, not when we grew up, but when we play as kids, we play, what do we call it, Indians and cowboys, or cowboys and Indians. And none of us want to be the Indian who will be killed. Everybody wants to be a cowboy with a pistolet. You see what I mean? It's so sad that when Osagyefo decided to, build the country, actually decide to construct the country, and knew that the adulthood who had already had previous experience as Gold Coasters and being colonized and the mentality of always feeling small, feeling little. That mentality was there. So Osagyefo decided that, okay, he will let his, what do we call it? He will let the kids of today, that time, be trained in a different way. That's why Osagyefo formed that Ghana Young Pioneer, to train young kids. Beautiful. So that they will have different mentality, different ideas from their forebearers, their parents, who had gone under colonialism, and most of whom have been, made to believe that everything good will come from heaven, through the Bible, or heaven coming from Europe and America. So Osagyefo wanted us to behave differently, to learn different, to think differently, think as Ghanaians, not as Gold Coasters. But unfortunately, he was never allowed to do so. So, like I said, when I was a kid growing up, we watched this Cisco and Pancho and the High Chaparral and the rest. We had all been indoctrinated to feel as though it's only things that comes from that part of the world that is the heaven, that is good. I remember when I was a kid, we do something nice, and your mom will refer you as me brony or bra me brony. That's sort of that mentality. It has been ingrained in us till today. Sad, really. It is really sad. But that's where we are. And, obviously, if Asante Hene has traveled away from Ghana to UK to participate in coronation of King Charles, so be it. King and king, fair enough. But the idea, the concept behind everything is what worries me, because these people we look at, they are not going to give up. They are not going to relinquish that mental superiority they hold over us as Africans. Unfortunately for our leaders, as we speak, Akufo-Addo and his people, even though Ghanaians and most Africans will tell you that this LGBT thing, they don't like it, or what we are learning is that people who want to lend monies to Ghana government. Don't forget, as recent as the past 3 or 4 days, Parliament was recalled, emergency session to approve some loans nearer to, well, how much? Nearly $1 billion. And for us to get that money, certain conditions attached, apart from the interest. So Akufo-Addo and his people, they are, they've completely locked the economy into a situation where they have no room at all. They will accept any instruction, any sort of any directive that is given from outside in order to get some little droppings here and there. That is the fact. That is the matter of fact. That is what we have at stake now. So, like I was saying, my senior brother called me to ask me about what I think about coronation. For me, well, I would like to, think about it as just an occasion for some people. Those Englanders, the white people, maybe some blacks, if they are so happy and satisfied with what they see, what they have, and they want to go that way, fine. But me, from where I'm sitting, know that, my people, though maybe ourselves have to be blamed for giving what we call making it easy for others to, manipulate and treat us the way they want to treat us. Still, I think, it is worth just pointing out the fact that if Prince Charles is becoming Prince Charles, it's not much to do with the prosperity of the black African at all. That is a fact. That is something we have to acknowledge. We're not hitting about the bush here. Mansa Musa, I'm ready. Today is Friday, it's weekend, and we are here to rumble. We are here to tackle the issues. The gentleman who called earlier on, I needed to start my show. I needed to talk. So now that I've given a hint of what I'm about to say, You may call in and then you can let us discuss even what you think you want to discuss with me. My telephone numbers are simple, really. 0208 123 5911 or 07876251261. If you call these two numbers, surely I'm going to speak to you. The program is Fire Will Burn You, and the person you are listening to is me, none other than Mansa Musa. Right, so Fire Venue has started. It is here live, and so if you want to join me, I am ready with for you to join. Right, so Martin Hamidu too has come out to explain some things or some feelings he has about the Kuvada government and what he thinks is going to happen. He said Martin Hamidu finally reveals the last 3 stops of Ekufuado's long game for 2024 elections. If you start to read, he said, Nana Ekufuado's modus operandi in the exercise of the constitutional powers vested in him to choose critical and sensitive constitutional officers for the actualization of the separation of powers, separation of powers doctrine, has always been to be guided by his personal political self-interest as distinct from the sovereign national interests of the citizens of Ghana. The choice of a replacement Chief Justice for I see. So I will read that story again another time. But everybody knows that Ekufuado is playing his games. He wants to make sure that everything, at least on paper or in practice, all organs, all institutions are practically in his, how do we say it, in his name, so that come 2024, they can manipulate, do everything they want or they like to make sure they win the elections. Mr. Ramford Jampo. Ramford Jampo is a lecturer at Legon. It's a reduced size of ministers to 40 and ministries to 15. According to Jampo, he said the call for sacrifice must be genuine and led by government in a manner that is empirical, palpable, and devoid of eye service, ticking the box propaganda. Also, can be. I'll find time to call him to ask him. My question, though, tonight is simple: that we know, we have been told that Ghana is broke. Ghana is broke. That we are bankrupt. We can't even pay the interest or part of our borrowed monies. We are in trouble. That is why we have to go to the IMF to go and look for cash. That is why we have to go to the IMF. So IMF can, give us monies and also guaranteed sort of, they will give us the support so that other lenders will be encouraged to help us out throughout this our economic problems or troubles. So as we speak, even the IMF process has become protracted, so much so that some people are saying by end of May too we are going to miss out. How true, how viable that will be, we live to see. But it is true that we are in all sort of problems. The government of Ghana has no money. That is the true, state of affairs when it comes to the economy or finances of the government. That is why most people's monies are locked. Most, pensions, bondholders, this and that, a whole lot of a different category of people have got their monies temporarily seized by the government. Not seized in that sense, but, you cannot have your money for some time. All this to assure lenders or the IMF that, the government can mobilize monies to pay off debt. Most people, lots of people have got their monies locked up. And Ghanaians, apart from this, Ghanaians are paying heavy taxes. Ghanaians have to live with heavy taxes. All this in a bid to, get the books correctly, rectified or ratified arithmetically or mathematically, so that our lenders, when they look at our books, they can say, the government should have monies going forward, or in the coming years, the government will not be, locked up in a situation where there won't be any money. Because government need lots of revenue. That's why so many taxes. We were there recently, about 3-4 days ago, or was it 3 days ago, when Parliament was recalled to come and discuss a new loan agreement or loan measure that the executive has brought to the Parliament, because such big loans, it has to be rectified by Parliament. Parliament will have to approve it. So we have politicians, most of them are going around practically campaigning, especially the NDC ones. They have their primaries. The NDC MPs, the parliamentary MPs, very soon will go vote or contest or compete for parliamentary primaries and the flag bearership as well. So all these people are in town, up and about, everywhere, very busy indeed. All of a sudden, they were asked to, come back to base, go to Accra, get to the Parliament to decide, on some loan components the governments want. According to the NDC side, they actually, when they arrived, were somehow surprised with the reasons for the call up. The call up, when, according to NDC MPs, when they were asked to report back to base, they were never told the reason they had to report back. In fact, it has been so in the army and in the military circles, and it's like that when you are on leave or you're on holidays, you are report back to base. They don't tell you because of this, that. You only say you have to report back to base. So MPs came to the Parliament for them to be hit or to be met with the news that Akufo-Addo and his cabinet wants to borrow or has plans to borrow almost $1 billion, and that they need the approval of Parliament. The NDC group actually, according to them, they smelled something fishy. They thought that something wasn't right. They started to argue, and the word they use is vehemently in the Parliament. They argue their case that, look, here we are in all sort of problems. We have overborrowed already. We have borrowed too much already. Nobody wants to lend us monies again. First and foremost, where is this money come from? And where is the catch? Or let's say, what are the interest rates? Because if you are bankrupt, believe me, those of you who know how this system works, we call some people the loan sharks. If you are bankrupt, or if you don't have the, the official credit worthiness for you to borrow money from your banks or from banks, and you have to go to these money lenders, where they call them shark, the shark lenders, or people who borrow you money, but the interest on those monies so huge that you yourself you regret. The interest on that money so huge. So my question, the question most people are asking is that, where from these supposedly agreed loan facilities, where is the money coming from? And what are the modalities or the, what do we call it? What are the agreement on it in respect of the interest rates on these loans? Like I said, over $710 or $20 million, it is just a few, then it will be $1 billion. So at what interest rates that Ghana, and when will the servicing of that loan due? When shall we start paying back those loans? All these things, well, we don't know. I don't know. If you know, you can ring me and tell me. The other question too is that for all this while that Ghanaians and opposition and other like-minded, or let's say neutrals, intellectuals, and have all complained that Oforiatta has been always very eager to go in for this borrowing because his bank, his data bank, profits, the benefits from Ghana going a borrowing, or the government borrowing from us, from anywhere. His bank, the data bank, capital, is it data bank? Yeah. They stand to gain all the time. So my question is, after all this and after all these complaints, is the Ken Oforiatta data bank going to profit from this loan arrangement, the loans that have recently been approved in Parliament? Is Ken Oforiatta's bank going to profit? If yes, that means, does it mean, adamantly, Ken Oforiatta, with this huge conflict of interest, he and Akufo-Addo doesn't care at all? They don't mind that it is, to put it in the, in the street language, that they are cheating the whole country. They are holding the whole country to ransom. The finance minister's bank always, stands to gain financially from borrowed monies. We have been saying this for the past 6 or 7 years or so. Now, even when the parliamentarians have left for Easter recess, or they were, away campaigning, they were forcibly asked to come back to come and approve nearly $1 billion worth of loans. Minumi Busao, Ghana for what dear na abaye so, what is wrong? Is it that almost everybody or what Ghana no between kasani ya tono? Ana se omusro. Ana se diebe mintiasye. Because in any country, the citizens themselves, maybe by now they are parading in the streets of Accra, asking for the government to leave, because with regards to borrowing of monies. So for Parliament to be, hurriedly arranged, to come and sit for one day, or just to pass, to approve a loan. How do I say it? How urgent was it that this loan had to be passed at all costs? If it's that the government has completely run out of money, these things happen everywhere. So what is it about Akufo-Addo and his cousins and his family that we as a country have to protect them? What is it about them that we have to protect them instead of they protecting the country? What sort of a mentality have we got at all in our country, where you have people coming to defend absolute scandalous rubbish? Today, when I wrote my questionnaire asking that, who was giving us the money and at what interest rate, and if Kenufurata's data bank will also benefit. Some people were bold on some platform to say, yes, they will benefit. What can you do? You see where we are. Americans will say where we are at. Someone wrote to me, yes, Kenufurata's data bank will definitely benefit. And what can you people do with some asterisks and some insults to me? Because I have dared to ask the question, the taboo question, that Kenufurata and Nanado, they have mismanaged the economy to their advantage. Individually, they are very, 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 very rich. That if in any proper country, citizens would have chased them out. Ghana citizens would have chased these crooked people out if we were to live in any, even in Abuja, in Alata. These people would have gone. As we speak, I'm hearing that around June, the middle of June, Baumia, Alanchemantin, some top hierarchy, they are coming to London to do some function. Amongst that function is inauguration of something business, something. And for those of you who know London, this activity will be held at the Hilton Hotel, Hilton Park Lane. In fact, when I came to London, very early 90s, the first place I worked, construction site, was at that Hilton Hotel. We were doing some internal renovations, changing about 50 years style hotel interiors to 90s, put it that way. Maybe now they've changed it again. So I know Park Lane. And the opulence, this Britain and the British people, where they have their palace, those areas, they worship opulence. They respect, high classness is my own word. I don't think there's any word like that. People here respect high classness. So those places, the first time I saw vehicles in a showroom, and they every 2 or 3 hours, somebody have to come and clean the glass, the external glass, the panels, the showroom. You see these MG sports cars, small cars, very expensive cars in the showroom, and when you pass by and you even touch the glass, they are outside of the shop, the glass, someone will come and politely ask you to move on. Very expensive place. This is where what is them? Baumia, Alan Chamanti, and some few, they are coming to organize a forum, apparently to sell Ghana to foreign investors or something. The money is the millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that have been approved. Almost before the election come 2024, we will all see and feel the huge amount of expenditure. We will all see it. Auditor General will come in, present the monies, and MPP for by year you make a count some say and I say and then say Sikana Ira and yes Sikana Ira and they will talk and then we move on. They will talk then we move on. Nipa bebre ni enyoma bebre wo Ghana. If I say enyoma bebre just say so many things are yefano for granted. Today I needed to go to specialist hospital about my not comfortable sleeping and the rest. They have to do something. And they send me the letter, they send me the what we call it a text message In the end, today, I woke up nicely, just went to the bathroom, and I felt lazy. I just called them, look, it has started raining, and I don't feel like going out. Can we reschedule the appointment? Yes. Why not? Mansa Musa, tell us when you want to come. Okay, the lady looked and gave me a date for next week. These are the things. You see, I'm not a millionaire here in London, but certain small things that you too, as ordinary person, you can access such facilities. We don't have them in Ghana. Ghanaians, we are not many, but we are wealthy. A lot of things in that soil. All this galamsey that going on, this illegal mining going on. With all the waters and rivers and everything that is being polluted, we should have big sums of money in reserve, shouldn't we? After all, we trade in something for something. The waters are getting muddied. The waters are getting polluted. Every environment, everything getting destroyed. But at least, Bank of Ghana should say, oh, we have big reserves. So we will sit down and think as a nation, as a people, now going to, free for all mining, is the country benefiting? No, the country is not benefiting at all. It is only some few. Many people have realized that Akufo-Addo really, chose to come and build a family fortune. And this deceit, Sanda da we no, and Kaye and Omaya Yadrimudra. And those people will sit and say, hey, Alan Tremantin, all those people vying for, you can't say, those of you vying for the flag bearer and you want to become president, tell us exactly what of the governors, and I say, Akufo-Addo, ne brother, no more, are you in support? If you are not in support, tell Ghanaians what you oppose. What is it Akufo-Addo has done so far that you do not agree with? It's all about talking nonsense, going around saying breaking the 8. Just saying it to breaking the 8. I know definitely that even here in the UK and the Americas and elsewhere, when even the press, the media, those who support one side or the other, when something isn't right, they come out to say it. Why have we left Akufo-Addo and his people to destroy this country like this? Let's take a quick break. We'll be back.
Sisay yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we asia fana nyina yentia kapre ane aye free top connect amasika mani aye mrekra ye wo hia ne se wo download with top connect app no e Play Store dia ma wo Android phone ana se wo use iPhone so a ko Apple Store na download the top connect aye simple kra top connect wa manda braduo num so wo Europe, North America and Asia wo mane wo dofu sika fa top connect so a aye ntem na emre na mawa hoto swonso sese die sika manu di foforo kra any top connect so we yan chechemu bia for top connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect our Belfont interfidie nyina so top connect fasika mane wa dofo sunjemu a untia kapre top connect yensu ye die
Abusia, let me go straight to the point. We will find wada. Once you attack and send be says so your work can see come air conditioner and also dumb air conditioning no and said that more can see no crane say one funny papa manama installation now mountia with everything called enterprise air conditioning installation at the Mawa Udamo Rubia Okanu never cold room it's a cold stores and Bavia you didn't ever see I was saying you know everything called enterprise ever a nice one at your Mawa Rubia no but you medicadica you install central air conditioning split air conditioning car air conditioning never solar panels also you want a nice at the Mawa or you be a bus straight now to your body will fee so what do you say and our gas and say you'll come with the anafia dear and our cold store dear a very nice and quick but we will be a baby yet the amount also more bridge Bobby sit down my can over to me afraid you can lie with so nearby install air conditioning Ibiamamu Frank class 447508650279 wager adjacent Ghana fire service wow France 0544489343 and 0302906276 your website everythingcode.org and I send you email kjamwako@yahoo.co.uk everything code enterprise air conditioning master no
NFM Radio emudaho Minia, see fire will burn you. I want NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejwada kopem memneda. And on song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
You don't have to play with fire because if you joke with fire, fire will burn you. You're welcome. Welcome to the show, Mansa Musa, on NFM Radio. And the time is 7 minutes past 8 o'clock here in the UK. It is 7 minutes past 7 in Ghana. That's what it is. Anyway, so what I'm discussing, what I'm talking about tonight is, among other things, that these huge loans that have been contracted that Akufo-Addo and the MPP people in Parliament has approved, who is going to give us those money and at what interest rates? What's the catch? Because we've all been told, or we are made aware that Ghana is broke in simple terms. Our debt or the monies we've borrowed, the time is ripe, or the time is, it has come to the time when we got to start paying some part of the loans we've taken. And we all know that now they've put a moratorium or some sort of a pause on paying debt or paying part of our sovereign debt, because the government does not have money. The government, I told you, for me about 2 years ago, I was saying is that this Akufo-Addo government has access, every money that there is. Any money anywhere that they could lay hands on, they have laid their hands on those monies, and then some more. And still, they are going about, cashing in, finding more places, finding more money to access. All these monies, unless someone somewhere decides that enough is enough, Ghanaians, we are not going to bother you. Just leave it. I mean, we are not going to charge you for anything. Cancel the debt. Otherwise, it is a sovereign debt. And what happens is, you see, these, especially external lenders, Abrofuni in particular, even the Chinese and the desert people, what's their name? The, what do you call, Middle East and Arabs and the rest. All of them, they will hold it against you as a ransom. In future discussions, arrangement, or agreement on certain something else, if you are owing them heavily, then, for instance, you have some minerals or some serious minerals in your land, and it got to be mined and taken away. If you are owing a country or a company so much money, then you'll be compelled to give that company or that country the favorable conditions for them to take your wealth away. It's as simple as that. Way simple crime. And more beer yana being say, so my dear, my beer the cat, or my beer the cat. The only time enka yebe to me, aka say, yene abrofbit now ebeshishe agreement and arrangement for mining or oil drilling near the idea. If yendi obiaka any way sika kakra, then you will be in a strong position to argue your part to say, look, this is how much we want. Take it or leave it. But when himself the cannibal brain, it would mean country will be said, take it or leave it. Because you need money to pay your debt. As we speak, I just say, we share the corner, just say, Kano say, it's over nearly, I think it's over 700 billion cedis. 700 billion cedis, but umiana mwa na the oka about digitalization. Lorries and trotro and those things, they will all be digitalized. Fine. And so, technology is available these days that you can make a legislation that every vehicle, every commercial vehicle should fit a certain gadget in their vehicles, so that pricing can be of uniformity, or there's a uniform sort of pricing mechanism, so you cannot overcharge or something like that. Just like when it started here in the UK with the black cab. By law, they had to install the meter so that they charge by the meterage. So obviously, nobody can be or will be overcharged unduly. So that is okay. But having borrowed all these huge sums of money, what the NPP have got to show is not enough. That is the problem. And your man it's not enough at all. Because I knew manano, Sankoban Babusiano crown and Castellas, I knew Mamuso by Sankomutimi. Because there's not a single policy, and I say, program where Kufa and Muyaka so Sadia Wadia, Nisikane Daho, na when you more hookah. Everything is all coming from borrowed money. And ka obi a ye to oil na ka ye wo sika kakra de. Oil ni sika no na esen ka ye di boy bra. And even if you want to use the oil money to as a collateral to go and borrow money, when you get the money, tangible, practical, edifices or let's say infrastructure, I mean, it should be shown, seen everywhere. Last time I come, say amount of money a kufadu no manjino. By now, ohia party ohia say me ka ohia and me nkazo bia nya aye Rachel. But ohia ni say enka dwuma bu. All of us, especially those of us in Europe, we know obi echia wo WhatsApp so good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Now yem shisho because when him said the next no obabe busa osika. And I mean everybody knows who ko Ghana ba. Who to say yes, I want you to ho. Ebi ferry say ombe busa oni ade ade. Obi share wa Ghana o ferry so be busa but who ni Ghana dia otumi the ni phone no hiding behind the phone no busa. Oh my friend, I will need at least £10 from you. It's true, people are struggling. Obviously, I'm not saying that in Kekufuado by now, and saying called the 1 million cities a good but that's not the point. The point in say, who bore my year, even in the middle of so much hardship, you have control over some services or some goods. And think who say, electricity and cost transportation first and cost rent and cost Adrianino, ebu warehouses, factories, they are producing even some of the food for export. Say, who say, yeah, and this say, yeah, Britain, America, but who impunct to be cost of them, a good food is, and it's over almost 700 billion cities. Who can they recently, Sikaya, ya approve more run the country into so much debt, such a huge debt. Nansu Busa say, where is water? Obien to me, I need to go to Accra. Let me put in the music. I'll come back. Right, you are welcome back. If you have just tuned in, Mansa Musa, I'm rolling on this program, Fire Will Burn You. As we speak, Akufo-Addo is in the UK for King Charles's coronation. Jesus Christ. Akufo-Addo, the one man can find a also, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is in the United Kingdom for coronation of King of England. This was announced by the Commonwealth through its official Twitter page. That is today, Friday. Per the announcement, Ghana's president was welcomed by King Charles III as the new head of the Commonwealth ahead of the coronation. Leaders discussed areas of mutual interest, including the empowerment of young people, as 2023 is the year of youth. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo joined some other African leaders as guests on the occasion of the coronation of King Charles III. Meanwhile, many African heads, mostly from Commonwealth countries, have arrived in London for the coronation of King Charles III. Some of these heads from these African states already in UK include Rwanda's Paul Kagame, King Mswati III of Eswatini, Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi, Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia, Liberia's George Weah, and the BBC reports as the President Emerson Mnangagwa will be the first Zimbabwean leader to visit London in over 2 decades after UK imposed sanctions on the South African country. Mr. Mnangagwa said he was excited to receive an invitation to attend the royal event. Some British parliamentarians, however, condemned his invitation, citing alleged human rights violation in his country. I see. Okay. It is, however, not clear if Kenyan President William Ruto will attend the event after he complained about the mistreatment of African leaders during foreign trips. Like I said, the Africans are trooping down to Britain to witness the coronation of King Charles III. Hopefully, this submissiveness and the good subordination of African leaders will endear to the hearts of British people, so that in the end African citizens will gain. Or you don't believe? I believe African citizens will gain from our African leaders and kings coming to see the King of England. Other news that we can also put our heads across is that ongoing, what do we call it? It is a saga, so to speak, between MP Okudzato Ablakwa and the Cathedral Secretariat. Ablakwa said he's been to US and he's going to see things for himself, and has reported back saying things don't add up. For instance, the address for the overseas, what do you call it? The address for the overseas affiliate of the National Cathedral. What I mean is, there should be an office, a center where someone sits or people sit to do business in relation to what they are or we are looking for, that is making loads of money to bring to Ghana to come and build the cathedral. But according to Ablakwa, if you go into it, some of the figures are such that when I see it, I'm just reading. My eyes will be watery looking at figures that so amount of $6 million apparently has been given to one American. Now the monies made, by the monies donated from America does not reach 1 million. If you pay 6 million to somebody and you have got a return of, let's say, 12 million, 25 million, 30 million, 50 million, then we all understand. You better ask yourself, what you 6 million will be, and our returns, are gross. This is the case according to our Black Horse papers. $6 million have been paid, but the amount of money returned in the form of funds, funds raised for building and maintenance of cathedral does not reach 1 million. One will be 6 million. Nadim Pakron or year fundraising them says 2 years on far 1 million kremayo. And according to Ablakwa, if you listen to what he's saying, it look as if everything is shrouded in some, in considerable, scandalous manners there. Nothing is transparent. Everything is opaque. Everything about this cathedral is in secrecy. When you ask, then they will bring a long list of why things are like that. How can you give an address of your subsidiary in America? Somebody goes there and the address is there, but there's no office there. Then they will come and explain to us, it's not that there should be office. It is that somebody, through somebody who comes to take the letters there and go. Just say, idea National Cathedral na ye home so Ghana. Say, idea the wording, enti yempesi ye di public sika be ye ni and just say, idea no kra no, people are not in favor already. So problems so. At the same time, everything, all the money and issues connected or surrounding this cathedral is shrouded in some uncertainties, is unclearness. I mean, just say, then they'll come and explain to you. Nothing is straightforward. In any country, a Kufuado will not be traveling to go and see King Charles. By now, the parliament itself is questioning him big time. Most of these things, we can say, politics, I mean, opposition for that. But, yes, but still, in a proper setup, a Kufuado will not be having his holidays again here in the UK. Say, Prince Charles, in the coronation, waba. By now, parliament, a proper parliament, should be questioning him. How can you have a subsidiary, a big project, his biggest project he's doing in Ghana is this, a physical project, is this cathedral. And everything is shrouded in some confusion, some innuendo, some, misunderstanding, opaqueness, everything about this cathedral. It started gradually and quietly. We are not going to use public money. It's all going to come from the private sector. Yeah, the dimu, they form a group, among force who discuss about Mejedi. Asofobi the Omuha form directors of this board of directors, heavy. Now, as for the cathedral, people, outsiders, when they discuss it, they they actually ask, Ghana, is this really happening? When these people are discussing and explaining, trying to portray the cathedral as a place of worship, a place of gathering for national events, then a place for the Bible Museum to show the history of the Bible in Africa, or and someone emphasized the papa biambra ni panasatremu. Up to date, we all know that our religion, as of same Allah, same God, same, and Africa for form. The politicians have come to realize this, and so they had to capitalize on it. Some say Jimmy. So much so say Baumia. Anything Baumia want to announce, he is announcing it in church. Why do you think that is? Baumia koka after the ultimate interchange. That same interchange now say Ghana card hunya say no. After the okoka wa sorry demo. Going to announce that the government has created some jobs. The reason why the early 20th century coup makers and revolutionaries, they hated and hounded and hunted Asofo and church people down is because naturally it's true, they are corrupt. And they side with hierarchy to dupe the people. After all, the strategy, the tactics for the churches, what do we call it? The church's progress. In order for the church to stand on its feet and prosper, for a church or the religion to prosper, it will have to dupe its members. That's all it is about. This same pastor who cannot show you anything that he asked God yesterday, that God couldn't make him to win the lottery or something. He is telling you, pray, you win. Then all your small money there, that's what churches do. So now the Ghanaian, the church leadership, church hierarchy, they are not hiding it anymore. They say, politicism to squander public money. What the politicians are. Half of this one, it is both NDC and PP. Some pastors, they speak for NDC. Some pastors, they speak for MPP. Instead of some pastors just to speak the truth, irrespective of which party is in power. Irrespective of which party is in power, instead of them simply to speak the truth to power. That's why somebody like Reverend Mate is quietly hiding the new, because when he said Nakumamuno, he was not talking for Ghanaians, so he was talking on behalf of a political party. And so our political party no more good anymore. They say, why you dean or titeho? I remember since late 90s, or even middle, late 90s, around 96, 97, when the Conservative Party, led by John Major, when they attained that notoriety, I mean, people had enough of them. So many scandals and innuendo, everything. People from the church hierarchy, they spoke seriously about government policies which were hurting ordinary people. So when Gordon Brown and Tony Blair came in, the same church, I remember Church of England, that I've forgotten the man's name, he criticized Tony Blair, some of the policies, and also going to war. They didn't criticize because at one point he supported conservative or he supported Labour. So because Labour is in power, they have to just keep quiet. No. So Mr. Mate, Ufrena, Nenyewu. Also, my brother, I'm not ready to speak yet. Because the time he spoke, the time he was making those noise, it wasn't because he loved his country and he was speaking on behalf of the common people or the common man. He was speaking on behalf of a political party. Now today, that political party has completely let him down, completely disappointed him, completely, destroy his faith. And so he can't talk. Why you dean or titeho? I'm saying the politicians, they've come to realize that we Ghanaians, we love our God. We Ghanaians, we love the Allah. Everything, if you mix it with religion, Allah, and God, hey, Ghanaians will follow you. Whether that thing will hurt them, whether it will bring them down, whether it will not help them, they don't care. They are just following because you bring God. I say, bang. That's why I'm saying in this particular respect, on this regard, it's not only MPP. Because I know NDC4, Omo ASO4, NDC pastors, MPP pastors. And Omukikam Kwasiasem, and Yame, God is assuring this one against the opponent, and the same God is assuring the opponent against the other side. And Kwasiasem, sa, ni digwa Ghana, Africa, West Africa. Until we get somebody who is really, really, really serious. Until we get somebody who will say, look, I want to put my mark for my people to actually see and feel after I'm gone that, look, this is what I did. But when we are left with these also runs, these, how do I describe them? They are pretenders. All these pretenders. They are lying to Ghanaians. They are lying to their people. When they gain power, they come and practice the same sort of economics. The economics that makes very few people very rich. That's why still, the very few people in this world, very few, like Europeans, Americans, and all the few, they are much, 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 much richer than the majority of people in this world. If you go to Britain, the same. Very few people, very, 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 very rich here, and the rest have to, make do, or have to, as they say, make go by with, have to just live with whatever they can get. People have to just live hand to mouth in order for others to have so much to eat. And we have politicians in Ghana, in Africa, who follow the same line. Ghana politicians talking about the bond market, the capital market, and the lenders, and they are so bold and they are so happy. The capital lenders, the bond, we don't have things that we can stand on that this is what we have, and this is how much we want for it. The minerals that we have in Ghana for the past 10 years, if we had people who reasoned, who had the mental capacity, who had the ability to think like people in Naples, in Milan, people in Paris, think like people in Washington, think like people in London, think like people in Beijing. If we had such people, about 2 or 3% of our people in Africa thinking like others thinking in Europe and America, like in Ghana, because the minerals that we have, even after after slavery and colonization, after all this, still the minerals and the wealth that is endowed in our lands. If we had people with good heads, good, proper, capable of thinking and working for their people, and Kenya nuni. Today, as we speak, I know, should NDC come to power, this girl I'm saying, wasa girl I'm saying, wasa before, because the whole thing is that Kufuor made his few people gain the upper hand. And they say we are protecting or we are regulating konje permit to ha konje and some hunusa me Mansa Musa I will say be bold and ban surface mining, ban alluvial mining, rather create jobs, create more construction jobs. People who have tractors, people who are masons, people who are electricians, people who are mechanics, they should be working on construction site, not in the forest, in the jungle, disturbing, destroying, polluting, and spoiling everything about them. We need people with strong volition, strong, the willpower to make changes. These cosmetics of yeah, kakra. It's a munu. And no, and I must say, King Charles, be dinner with the na Africa for you as a lie. Betra Dorchester, ye friends saying, Ritz Hotel, no money, no hotel. Betra, what did you know, now, Omunkro for Africa, hobre. This is our impenifor for you. This is our leaders for you. Very sad, isn't it? Of course it is. Why have we come to this? Why have we come to this? That we don't have leadership, the leaders that are strong-headed, have the strong conviction, the leaders that have the willpower. Our leaders have the willpower, but the willpower just to lie to the people. Just to lie to the people. Me say, Kufuor wa ba London, King Charles, obeye coronation. Sika de beba, shopping mo de be ye, play ma. Na insure proper bottled water. Inyina be so bi akọ Ghana. Na Ghana for asensio no poto. Ni yensu papa no. Jesus Christ, I remember I was a kid, born in Bema but later I had to live in the village. Well, it is not a village I said, but compared to Accra, Abrununko. Right? That place, you go to the farm, the water was so clean. They will make a cup out of leaves, banana or plantain leaf, something, and you drink the water out of it. It's so clean. It's so drinkable. People were not rich. People were not lavishing in richness or anything in riches. But the things that were available to them, they were good enough. For me, our crusade, first and foremost, is that this particular period should be an aberration. It should be a faulty line. So it's like a time that had to come and pass. Unfortunately, we are in these times. And I am praying that this has to change. But when the changes occur, the rest going forward, we need proper leadership in Ghana, in Africa. We need proper people. Not people who, have the fancy of travel. Oh, I just arrived last 3 days from America. We went and we did this conference, and we went to the White House, and the people there, and we signed an agreement of memorandum. How you and some judges say, some crashes seminar. A fit that Osajifo wanted to clean that mentality. Our leadership is all about traveling in big jets to the white man's place to go and enjoy. Come back for his people to dance for his welcome. Africa people, when President Akobebi, or no kwasane ho yare wo abrochire wo. When President will leave hospital, papa will krom hospital infant say ye papa esikafo nkwa ne tumi kompono enka bi wo krom ye. Nso ni bi Until your president will travel, go and seek medical attention and medical care in other places, other jurisdictions, proper medical care. When you come, they land at Kotoka, or what I call the Accra airport, then they'll be drumming and dancing to welcome him. We are not Bodamwa then. And yet, Jimia, what it is? You tell me. Especially those of you living in diaspora, in Europe, in America. When did you see a president or a head of state or a prime minister went to somewhere to go and look after his illness or something, come by drumming and dancing to meet him, to welcome him? We have to, we need some people, we need somebody different. So far, what I'm saying in both parties does not inspire me. It does not. It is about the same thing. Look, even considering their political issues here in the UK, when NPP were doing their what they call UK executive elections, I learned there was so much fight. Police had to be organized to go and separate them. In the same NDC, they can't even bring themselves to do the right thing for them to have an election. As we speak, no election. Because the same people, the same Ghanaians have the mentality of when you get a chance, cheat your friend, cheat your brother, cheat your sister. This is all what we know. Everybody wants to gain advantage, not through merit or through proper procedure and proper effective actions, but rather through cheating. Let me change my camera before it goes off. I'll change the battery in the camera. Right, welcome back again. You are all very much invited to join me if you have to contribute to the discussion. He said African leaders arrive in London for King Charles III's coronation. You see, under normal circumstances, it's not a big deal that, African leaders, our leaders gather somewhere to celebrate a king or something. But, ask thyself, how many times did you see European king and queens troop to Africa to come and join celebration or something of a kingship or monarchy in Africa? The answer is zilch. Because the Europeans especially, they value themselves as the top people. They were the colonizers. They were the slave masters. They will tell you that they brought civilization to you. So if you have a chief in some jungle somewhere in Africa, why will the European monarchy will travel, worry themselves travel to come and join you to coronate. No. But the Africans almost also one logo line. As this one, he said, let me see if I can get a sample. I'm looking at them, all of them with their color. He said, several heads of African states, mostly from the Commonwealth countries, have arrived in London for King Charles's coronation on Saturday, that's tomorrow. Among those already in the UK include Rwanda's Paul Kagame, King Mswati of Eswatini, my brother, Jesus Christ. The best now say Africa King be, and now say monarchy be, dinafi Emma Brofan Salai, eba. It doesn't happen. They won't do that. They are too clever for that. I mean, they are brofo. They are too clever.
NFM Radio.
And for the before, no, our kings and queens, it's like some pleasure, you know. It's like some honor, a badge of honor, you know, for you to travel to King Charles's coronation. But King Charles won't bother to travel to yours. And say, Jesus Christ. I am praying and I'm still saying that the next generation of our leaders, we need proper people. The status quo, the same, you know, business as usual. It's not good good enough. The other time I said, look, there are so many questions not being answered. Nigeria has drilled oil for maybe 40, 50 years. So, under normal circumstance, if Ghana wants to drill oil, and if anything at all, shouldn't we import the machines and the knowledge, the know-how from Nigeria, from Equatorial New Guinea, from Gabon, from Angola? The people who have the lion's share, if they were Africans, because these people have, you know, drilled or operated in the seas looking for oil much longer than we have done. So they have the expertise. No, you won't see it like that. Ghana wants to drill oil, we have to go and look for the white people. Meanwhile, like I say, Nigeria has been drilling for 40, 50 years. And I've always maintained that if Nigeria was situated in, let's say, in Europe, and they had the resources like Nigeria had, and can Nigeria be a powerhouse? But as we speak, Nigeria itself is not even powerhouse in their own country. They cannot look after their citizens. Proper, practical poverty. So naive and so ignorant. One particular incident, it happens almost every 6 months, every year or whatever. And that is before you see, a petrol tanker had an accident, people rush to go and, you know, siphon fuel, fire, you know, fire outbreak, and about 100 people have been burnt to death. And Nigeria. These are the things. So, and so, before you hear something like that, where Obroni Kromo and also what sa petrone oil plant near the day, it's only maybe one accident, serious one in every 10 years or something. And so Nigeria make on here and amangu bonintino ube who's about to answer about 120 people have been burnt to death. They were trying to steal petrol or fuel products from a tanker that had involved in an accident. Because the poverty, the governance is not there. You ask yourself, I'm saying, Nigeria has been mining oil for 40, 50 years. When Ghana wanted to start mining, producing oil or drilling oil from the sea, expertise is in Europe, they will find their expertise in Europe. How couldn't we find Ghana as a country didn't find the expertise from, let's say, Nigeria, from Equatorial Guinea, a place like Gabon, they've been drilling oil for ages. Why couldn't you get our expertise from there or from Angola? But expertise will have to come from Europe. And our leadership, they are readily available to submit to the Europeans. A banks are papa wo, I umbet me akwa haidi o musika, a hospitals papa wo, I umbet me akwa sa mo yare, a Europe na schools papa wo umbet me dio mumba ako. It's all about the colonial mentality. The leadership we have is not good enough. And what has destroyed us completely, what has even made it worse, is our love for God and Allah. Our love for the religion, for God and for Allah. Here in Africa, for the people who brought the God and Allah, if you go to their countries, they are building physical things. Recently, I saw a video clip right in the middle of the desert. You will see green grass of wheat and rice. Saudi Arabia, planted wheat and rice, green grass, middle of nowhere in the Arab desert. Now, before Africans, complaining, say why? Oh, Ukraine, because of Ukraine war, there's no wheat. Now, other nyami boy no the Jimino or the chair free ana. Leadership. I sorry no you koni gidi in the sena me good morning Ghana. The way a friend say Nana Kumia describing some church leaders, what they've built. He was trying to make the point that these church elders, very rich people, they have built their own cathedral, and some even have built mansions like city type. Now I'm thinking, you see, those pastors and reverends and those religious leaders have built it. But they have built factories. They have built some research institutes. No. African pastors are rich. They have built mansions for themselves. Maybe one borehole here, some house here. That's it. We don't have the capacity to say, oh, they have built some heavy industries. Our church leaders in Ghana have massive church houses comparable to what a Akufo-Addo want to build anyway. So it's all about the God and the Allah. God and Allah. God and Allah. The people who brought the God and the Allah, they are doing practical things in their homelands. Imagine, look, all these mosques and holy sites in some Arab countries, when there were period of war, they bombed those places without mercy. It's high time we Africans, we Ghanaians wake up small. Yen nisu kakrebi. And I make me say, look, for me, I want changes. As for Akufo-Addo and his people, bad for Ghana. But so you see, the next leadership, it doesn't inspire me. They will come and carry on maybe a little bit better, which is rubbish. We need people of courage. We need people who have the strength to make things happen. Okay. All right. You called and how do I say it? You called and what friend or the other so anyway. If you call, I'll let you speak. You know, people who are going to be very pragmatic, people who have the strength of character to make things change. Those that can look into the eyes of anybody at all and try to negotiate properly. Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. Okay, call again. I think your line is misbehaving. You see, we need people, proper leadership,
NFM Radio,
qualities for Africans, for Ghanaians. But and yet, I keep asking the question, maybe I'm in the end, me say, Ghana for yenya oil na ye betuno. Senka ye wo Europe, and Kobe say, the expertise no will come from Europe. I just say, if say one country be a discover oil, expertise no will come from another European country. To oil now for a while. So I was expecting that expertise will come from, say, Nigeria, will come from Equatorial New Guinea, from Gabon or from Angola, to help set up Ghana, the oil refinery and oil production, all those things. Even if the lion's share of the monies were going to the Africans, I would see that as development, as progress. But our mindset is so undermined. Our mindset is so skewed. Our mindset is so, how do I say it? It's so controlled to that, it has become our mindset, our mentality has rather become a defect. When I started about an hour or so ago, I said, look, when I was a kid, growing up, the first television, black and white television, the film we watch, The High Chaparral and Cisco and Pancho. These were what we call it. These were cowboy films. And those days, we as little kids all practice, how to shoot and everything. When we are playing these cowboys and Indians, nobody wanted to be an Indian. Everybody wanted to be a cowboy. The indoctrination to make you feel that those people are better than us, all those long years ago. That's why Kwame Nkrumah, they mean Johnny didn't bother. Nkrumah knew that he would need a new breed of people. He would need a new generation. Because his own generation, that time, he knew that their minds have been built on a different sort of format. The thinking of a colonized African wasn't good for the newly independent country. That's why Nkrumah decided, this young pioneer, to train the youth to think differently, to think independent, to think progress, to think modern, not to think like their forefathers or their forebearers, how they worshipped and served the white people. This is what Osagyefo wanted to do for us, and we didn't allow him. Today, when everybody wake up, hello? Hello?
NFM Radio.
Muda.
Comrade. Mansa Musa, utumenka.
Metionka pa, after metionka.
Comrade Yusuf.
NFM Radio ni.
No. Afin, pacho. Good evening, Michelle Obio, Mansa Musa.
Yo, nyina ajo so.
Yo, you meje boko. Enti I mean, this now can be far then you basically develop near the other. Like a crime is no a someone said. Since you are a current government, you more hijack governance no. Not until so or more free so or more moving as so or more jabos. But this is here, in fact, I was here more charges there. But another more two time. Corruption, any sika, Ghana sika, or more edgy. Omunka who say you will maybe on my friend a retrospective legislation. That you know, we share a uni. Kumha by Omo Yusuda. HMRC Omo Yusu, wouldn't ready tax. Would you upon Chimo time saying any in fear saying. So, who default and I say, who yes, a bicycle. Sir, Embrano, retrospective legislation. It may be so. Irrespective of say, what a Kunyazo or not, I want your Kunyazo. And to one can who say, Chumbu time. One day, a baby baba be fishing. Because Adia, in fact, Sir government will Modia Tugan of Susiano. In fact, you see, as a Kunyazo, that Fishimua, there was here a change because of me. But anyway, I don't mention the person can say, yeah, you know, can be a development. Tell me by ya, I didn't get to offer contractors free and anonymous by ye, you money, the Nayano, young Africa contractors near the other. Who's a so share now here, you will Museveni. Our war, Uganda man. In fact, but no me respect, no, what can be so. Because Ututu and Amobio to me said, Utuma or Jimmy man who ye. Because we said, I said, petrol be a pile of Uganda men. As I have a crew, Nanka share or prepare the one. Inka companies really need to say share and need deep, you know, one the fan of 4 Nanka, you are more percentage, 5% and I said 10%. Upon our one Kasawakai, was it? It's a woman pushing us or you know, woman who say reserves move on. Or you move assassin. Oh, 80. What you want was say, I didn't know because I have a 4 use system. We have a service agreement. And you know, Dubai for one, we use ya Dubai, you are in clean, we use ya, oil. One fact, a contract that Marble who said, Mumrami to Namuma percentage, Nebuno. Or far engineers and will fire know how people to home. You be pure Omoka. No more fire, no, and no one shall organize labor. And today, you know, we in the just say, oh, you money a Piauka. That you all be able to be say 100% our Modia. So, so what resources we will memoir. The who says agreement if you were honor. And the sound of 80, you always say, for far, you for China. Wouldn't say China, but 43% of enterprise, you know, a state owned. One would be my touch than I will say, from my private enterprise, one just a buying it there. So a buying a company to oil, right from drilling to exploration and drilling to refinery. What would you use it there? And that's a capture woman by on agreement. Now, say, Google, never Uganda, Ubio TV, Mumbo Uganda, Romuhu, a quam of fast, what you see, or 2 oil. Now, percentage now, which is an agreement now with Mr. Mapenin, Museveni, my woman, China phone coin, woman, China State Oil Company in a Babaya. I just said, I'm saying, or best, say, 50-50 more than that. So, and you be near, let's say, yes, or any resources, we are watching. Yeah, more what about early gold, who more to near my 5%, 10%. They say, Mayor, what chili, Bobo Bushing, Yana, you're paying for Nayama, what chili. 20 good terms of agreement. Kasika, on Barney, a big generation. TM, Cassia, IMF, Franco Bobusa. So, 20, they say, you have acquired that as well. The resources in the best IBP and some near who. Semi Bessiano. And the Kakrame, bɛka afa ho no fa yɛn mpanyinfo no wɔn adi ɛram wɔ wɔn na mbɛ sisi yɛ ho kyerɛ yɛn nti mɛka kra mɛka afa no let's hope that yɛbɛnya leaders a wɔn bɛba na wɔn bɛdwe ɔman no ho ɛna afei so yes wo deɛ ma mi wie sika mi wie yɛ fikura sese yɛhu sɛ Ghana yɛ maa no obi ani hɔ a wɔsuro Bible ɛna obi ani hɔ a wɔsuro Koran mmerɛ bi ɔma panyin Rollins ka asɛm bi ɛda YouTube wɔse wokɔkye akorɔmfo bi na sɛ yɛka sɛ yɛmfa ayi Bible anaasɛ Koran wɔnsisi a wɔmbɛsoɛ ɛnso wode yɛnka sɛ yɛmfa nkɔma bosom bi ayi wɔka sɛ wo nua no wɔbɔ koro no wobɛka sɛ ei wɔde dabi o ɔbɛte ase sɛ ɔbɛka no korɛ sɛ wɔyɛ sei nti Ghana yɛm sɛ yɛsuro yɛ abosom no a yɛmpɛ yɛ nananom abosom no wɔn mu suro no duabɔ ne adade no kofo suro no po asɛ sisi Bible ne ayi nti ne yɛn revert ne yɛn sankɔ ayi sɛ any sort of swearing bi ɔma pani sɛ wobɛswear in a yɛmfa Bible yɛmfa ayi Koran wow sɛ wo so womfa ayi yɛbosom kɛseɛ bi ayi nim sɛ yɛwɔ respect ma no paa wɔ Ghana yɛma no mɛsoɛ obiara mɛso soɛ wɔ so ɛne ministers ne ayi nyinaa obi yɛsoɛ sɛ wonni sika nti yɛsoɛ a na afei no ɔfei wakɔyɛ adwuma ne yɛnhwɛ because yɛamfa saa yɛ nananom ayi no amma a Ghana yɛm sɛ obi ansuro Bible no ayi no ɔmo nsuro nka wɔahwɛ sɛ mi sɛ ɔmo ba bɛsoɛ ɔtumi nyinaa ɛso wɔm sa da so di sika ɔmahu sɛ Nyankopɔn nyɛ ɔmɔ hwee nna kakra mɛka afa so obi anwe ho no wɔmfa yɛyɛ brainstorm obi amfa no adwene mmra okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Right, so that is Comrade Yusuf Namoten in Kano. With him, Mansa Musa. It is fire will
NFM Radio.
Yes. Let me go for a quick commercial break. I'll be back.
Say dear, yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we yasia fana nyina yenchia kapre. Ane aye free. Top connect amasika mani aye mrekra. Ye uhia ne se wo download with Top Connect app no e wo Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. And so we use iPhone so ko Apple Store na download the Top Connect. Aye simple kra. Top Connect wa manda radio num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Woman wo dofu sika fa Top Connect so aye ntem na Nemma wa hoto so sese die sika manye di foforo kra any Top Connect so we yan chechemu bia for Top Connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our barefoot interfidie nyina so Top Connect Fasika mani wa dofwa sunjemu a untia kapre Top Connect yensu ye dieni
Let me go straight to the point. We will find wada. Once you attack and send be says so your work can see come air conditioner and so damn air conditioning no and said that more can see no crane say one funny papa manama installation now mountia with everything called enterprise air conditioning installation at the Udemo a Rubia okay you never cold room it's a cold stores and Bavia you didn't ever see I was saying you know everything called enterprise a nice one at your mower, a Rubia, no, but you you install central air conditioning, split air conditioning, car air conditioning, never solar panels also. You want a nice Eddie mower, or you will be a boost straight now for your what you will fee. So, what you said, and our gas in a sense, say you'll come with the another dear, and our cold store dear, then you know, a very nice and quick, but we will be a yet the amount. Also, more bridge, I'm obviously dying, oh, my can over to me, I'm afraid you can lie with so. Yeah, install air conditioning, Nibiamamu. Train class 447508650279. Oh, wager, I just sent kind of fire service. Wow, France 0544489343 and 0302906276. Your website, you know, everythingcode.org. And I send you email, KJ yahoo.co.uk. Everything called enterprise. Air conditioning, master, no.
The clergy and the religious this thing, when they speak, they shake the foundation. And it is only the church that will address meaningfully the canker going on. And they want to silence all credible voices. Now, today, we will reveal everything to you. This question has, direct relation with the pronouncements of Reverend Professor Marty. Let me tell you why people do not want Professor Marty to talk. Listen, they have tried, politicians have tried all means, all means to muzzle me, to get me, but they can't. They come with bribes, fat envelope, $100,000. Listen. I want everybody to listen. Politicians came to my house with fat envelope, $100,000, not cedis, dollars. And also with the promises that, if you keep quiet, we will give you a house at Trazaco with swimming pool. You know what? We will give you 4-wheel drive. These people were lucky. I did not have big dogs in my house. Else I would have released the dogs to bite them for the whole world to ask, Papa Moderator, my boy one again. Papa Moderator, I didn't know now you release the dog. Then I will tell them, ask what they came to do. You know what? They have tried all means to muzzle me. They couldn't, and I tell you they can't. And you know what? I will speak today, I will speak tomorrow. You know the tax I pay? Osofo. Sometimes when this thing come and I see the tax that I've paid, but at the same time I said, praise be to the Lord we serve, because it's going to build our nation. Then when my tax goes, you babies with sharp teeth, you are stealing the money and you don't want us to talk. We will talk today, we will talk tomorrow.
There is no genuine pastor in this country. Genuine. Okay? There's no pastor in this country, I may say. There's no single pastor. They are liars. They are doing business. Obiago tinana sorry dem abia sorry ye business na sebi previous a youth no mo Ghana so na mo akotina sa sorry dem na mo ton nkumbia bi mutimi ko toss of calendar de bo simu dem say mu hia protection abra sa sofu no or bodyguard na muti krom ha, and youth na mo o man mo ha no. This is the time I was say ye bia new Ghanaian youth, our eyes are opening. Senka sofu ni a genuine adena Christian counselor din na youth e wo man mo ha ye bre adentina Christian counselor who do ahimfu e wo krom ha. Everybody is quiet about what is happening. Crisis e wo man mo antinka ye wo sofu omu so omu dwin Ghana ho mu enyame ni papa nka sofu yo mu sori nkasa ma youth no. We don't have any genuine pastor in this country. We are in this country na sofu bibe shen come say shatawale wayarimpo anka wabewu. They are all in this country with lies. Black Stars kwako bo match na sofu bi di flyer bi ba out to say omuya fasting and prayers for Black Stars. Akosi saying group stage you mutimi pie. We are living in this country. Instead of saying pointing the mistakes to the government, say is distracting the people of Ghana. No, yes, I no. Now your flyers are who do say move bompire to Galamsey, move bompire to economic crisis in the country. Me say there's no genuine pastor in this country. So for biani Ghana Yankupon Kasachireno, they are all liars. Nobody. So for biani or Maimuha, they should come. I can prove to them that they are all liars. So for biani Kruma. So for being him saying Yankupon a friend. On Chile and ABC 2022. 2023. On Chile and ABC 31st 90. But I feel no measure Munkwasi and Komanasi. Now Omusha come say mama ne how, papa ne how, be duebia if you want a how. Now mu distract youth no mu omudim konti badum omu mama no omu papa no machi say omu ya baifo. Asofo omu kanipa bom, asofo omu ye beef for Ghana. Uso de what say nyame nipa ye beef da. Let's open our eyes, Ghana's youth. It's about time amunya ya sorry kona munya juma. Work. Stop going to church. It's a waste of time. Sit down in your house, pray. God will listen to you. These pastors are doing business. They are getting money through with the youth. Work and get money. There's no single pastor in Yankupon Kasachren or Ghana Maimuha. They are all liars and hypocrites. If they are not...
Right, NFM Radio.
Mudaho clear. Mansa Musa, good evening.
Good evening, my good friend. Now, you have a call there.
Oh, Yamiado, in I am here. Me did the one so way.
And Madame for me, make you a me bra penny. Mr. Ted Kofi, or Chanakra, may an interview. Accra. Or don't see a media person or yet TV near the idea. Very vocal, sometimes BBC radio, sometimes LBC, very vocal. And friend me, Mansa Musa, my bra, so our China coronation, what do you think? These people call me to come and speak the African perspective. I mean, if you ask me, I will tell you that I will tell them something they wouldn't like to hear. Obviously, it is their king. They are happy. They want to enjoy it, fine. But it has no positive bearing on the people in the villages of Africa. Omo Himfo, no head of state, Omo Salai, Babesum, no more Comedidi, Dorchester Hotel, no more. And Ahano, media, Chese Boko, Namidiwaha, Wabba. I know you came with a different sort of a message to put across. Integer, as they said some time ago, would the NAATA, Yanko?
Yeah, Medawati, thank you for the opportunity. Now, Mechia Ubibia. Now, Mansa Musa Yenda Yameswati, only 10 years, yet die, sorry, not Friday, Abba, not Friday, not Friday, Abba, Nino and Yamenado. Inti Ayane Yakai, Mena Nana Sebio Kachemosi. Adekuru betima we are very beneficial and the ukodema koda awompa boafa ko na ekwa afegu umpa nase anopa sora kaide bebu nkotodwe na yi umpa boa no eho no na akacha nyame me dase nti that is the logic of edem paboa no ko within the dynamics for opportunity or my intendiana ahoden Mansa Musa, I think
that is one advice those days that my company Brunino. You dare not bring even Chalote to the bedroom. I wouldn't know how to convince her of this particular narrative from your auntie. Problems. Anyway,
well, it could be a friend then, a statement of say it can be proverbial statement
of course.
Anything that would make you enye gidi na kujina atimota forest aka akasa today I can't call no bibi but at least you appreciate today nyame me that was is very important. But what me kakran me uncle na okasa before Elko. Hello, Mansa Musa.
Oh, sorry. Oh, hey, Obina.
Yeah.
Obi be some Ghana the number ben on free. And I'm about sending a studio number, a WhatsApp studio number. Usually, I don't want people calling on my private number. No, it's
that's okay. That's okay.
You see, so that's what I was trying to tell him. The on try there, he must get used to the studio. Hopefully, he's going to call there. But you see, for baby, away, don't go. I'm just going to tell. I'm putting you on hold to tell him you are on, so you should wait. So don't go.
Okay.
Hello, Yusuf. Hello. Okay. Yusuf himself is gone. Our friend then, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hang on. Sorry. Where is it? Okay. Hang on for me, Joe, because this. Okay. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Unfortunately, hello, Joe. I can see you are on, but why is your voice not coming? Okay. Hello, Joe. Jesus Christ. Hello, Joe. Okay. Hopefully, Joe will call again and I will continue from where, because I was trying to tell the caller to hold on, but I couldn't bring Joe back. Hello, Joe. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Mansa Musa.
Sorry, I couldn't bring you back in, but yeah. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. We did it in appreciating the areas I want to say today, being solutions to every problem. It is our acceptance and having to deal with the plurality of ideas will be at the beba. I don't know my solutions to every issue be our confronting. I do not have problem with people who share their opinion. However, I have every right to disagree with the opinions I do not what share. Just as they have their right to also air their opinions, I think that respectfully, me uncle no Kasa before he went on break, he made a very good submission, but however, like I earlier indicated, I disagree with him on one or two issues. Look, Mansa Musa, the moment we begin to feel there, Yankofa Bosumbi, Mo Bimbeswe, and Sunny Yemana, it is our admission of failure. Because Mindine there said the Abofi will be a Busumbi, or Kosua Busumbi and Sana, they do things right. You see, we are rather creating a certain culture of mano on ye, and that is where we should have our fear. Our fear is not about them. Yanko for Busumbi, Nelbedi Empia, Kosua Busman, a president, Yanko for a what's it, you confused the Kankan Yama Zabadi before. You have to reason. Mansa Musa, first of all, our biggest problem as a nation is why we think then our problems can be solved when everybody enters into politics. That is first problem. First problem, no. Everybody, today as we speak, Mansa Musa, people are selling their houses in UK here to go to Ghana to become MPs. They are selling their houses, 500,000, 200,000, whatever, to go to Ghana to become MPs. The question is, Mansa Musa, would you sell your house to go and look quest to become an MP in Ghana? Would you do that?
If I can get the same amount of money from the house in my house in Ghana, I would rather I'll rather sell that one.
Exactly. It tells you there. Your policies, you know.
Joe, there's a caller from Accra. Why wouldn't him a credit in what some more? Funny message in him, but Mango, don't go because he has called on a different phone. Stay there and you know, I ain't saying no commodity buy. Hello, Mr. Hayford.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, you've called us. What has brought you here?
Oh, I saw the topic that you are discussing tonight. Ghana versus IMF.
As for that one, it is always there for the past 2 weeks. Ghana versus IMF. Ghana versus more loans. You know, just about 3-4 days ago, you Ghanaians have approved another nearly $1 billion for a country which is supposed to be in bankruptcy. I mean, maybe you didn't listen. In any country, the people will hit the street. This is ridiculous. Anyway, Akwaba,
in fact, for me, my prayer was that IMF should never give us even the loan. Because the loan that this our president is piling up is going to affect the future generation. In fact, our children are going to pay these loans and they will never finish paying. So it's very funny. I wish the IMF people, I mean, they would even be fed up with us and that the loan will not come. Thank you, sir.
So you are praying that the loan never materializes. Let me ask you, which part of Ghana are you calling from? Are you speaking from?
I'm in the eastern region, Koforidua to be precise.
I see. Koforidua flowers. Hopefully it's not raining, is it?
Not yet.
Okay. In any case,
and we are praying.
Oh, go ahead.
We are praying. It's timely for Ghana to have a third force that will be selfless and, bring Ghanaians out of this predicament.
I totally agree with you. Unfortunately, this time around for 2024, it's not going to happen. You see, I can for baby say, this particular group handle of minds is saying they have to go. That doesn't mean say the next one no angels are not said to, but I think we can control the next group much better to try to recalibrate, because third force we are not going to get it to come and stand between these two people, and we are only deceiving ourselves. But the concept, the idea that we should have, say, look, we need proper leadership in Africa, and yet the leadership are, say, Nigeria for to oil 40 to 50 years. In Ghana for to oil, we expect that the engineers, the expertise will come from Nigeria, but still we have to go to the white people. That means we Africans, we are not thinking. We are not using our brains. It's sad. And these are the changes we have to make. But for 2024, don't let us make a mistake of, diluting anything, thinking that there can be third force to come. No, there won't be. So let's take these people out. Because Ubusal and Chemantini, Kerejapo, and all those people are. Say, which of Ekufuado's problems are they opposing? And I say, they are not happy with. They can't tell you. They are owning it.
Exactly.
Anti campaigners is your patch as a Ghana for any mudain.
They don't have anything.
You. Anti Mr. Hayford from Kofodia, do your necessary best, but make sure that the objective is to get rid of this particular group. Then we restart it all over again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you too. Have a pleasant evening and a good weekend. Tambia Osaka, you know, I know I share. What share? Omo work a credit kakrano. Betumi etie and betumi ahwe video ni bi Facebook and also YouTube. Me that's be brave for your call. I won't waste too much of your credit. Yo, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. Now let's come back to Leeds. Yes, Joe.
Yeah, so in a system when you teacher need paying soon, the only place you can make money is to become a parliamentarian. How do you sanitize a system like that? And time there are many often leadership. African leadership is not good. Ghana leadership is not good. Mansa Musa, it is you and I who make up the leadership.
No, that one there, I will not agree with you completely. I'm not part of the leadership. If I'm part, believe me, when I was part in the 80s, we did our best to sanitize the whole system. We did what we could. We weren't successful. But this time around, those leadership like your friend is saying, one or two names, Samia Wuku, your friend is saying, Napo, to me. These are the people Rebecca said they are part of the leadership. Now, meaning what the encounter will be.
Yeah,
now continue.
Yeah, the reason why I'm saying that today, Samir Uku, President Akufo-Addo, John Mahama, one and not Missy, when many are we are. We make the leadership. We make them, right? It's now me brother no sababe can third force no. People like this, what the third force in as much as yes, it is their opinion, but yet again I disagree in there. It is our inability and our feeble thoughts today, challenge leadership. And for that matter, no, let us allow them to go and then we bring a third force. Third force in the you go for angels no about better. If you cannot challenge the system now, what makes you think that the third force that is coming you can challenge?
For that one, I agree with you.
You understand? We need to wake up and challenge the system. Now, what is causing all the problems? Ghana money, since you Mansa Musa, make NDC, but I will not hide away the fact. Most of us here were NDC, John Mahama, so that we can acquire. When John Mahama back, not a John Mahama no said almost so ya did your bonia because they are from John Mahama. But today we want MPP to talk about the corrupt things in their government. That is it. I was so much hailing of our leadership because you feel there, one, or a political party, two, year in the chapel, three, or you warren maminia, you warren papa, you war. These are the things. Until we erase our minds of this and show come higher way, and we make emphasis of UK, America, and whatever. Yet the Boris Johnson, you don't confirm what you know. And you don't confirm what you know. And so, Mansa Musa, in that yellow cafe, what can Kufuada no one say, MP, the cock and Watson, or China, tourists would move. Can John Mahama no want them constructively in the way of develop Ghana? What's hey? A quabled for nimpa, a winning pa. We don't have that ability to accept criticism there. A man a teacher or no man a teacher, Obia will view. Let us accept then. I am from the yes, I belong to this party, but my party is failing in this direction. I will say it. But we don't do it. Yes, sir, and I can't do it. It did there, Mansa Musa, it did there. You know, 7 Yansan for 10 power Ghana within the MPP, and they rose up against Akufo-Addo. And can you more can be bringing into me and stop here?
Now,
MPs
if they're roping parliamentarians, then they should come and approve nearly $1 billion. And they all line up quietly, submissively, obediently to come and just vote. There's something absolutely wrong somewhere.
Wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. Young couple so confused. About the boss mean for India. There's something wrong with our head. The internet candidate that the black man Nankasana was born bad. Yanankasan mean 2 months and Yankupon no create and Yankupon or Kodine or Bonsambe create you don't even know. They're not getting yet.
Nyamiko leave.
Something like that. Internet South America, you look at Africa, look at the resources. We can feed the world. DR Congo can even feed the whole world. DR Congo. About internet, in all this, people for people for Arab free, how they are developing. How they are developing. Look at Kuwait, look at Saudi Arabia. You were talking about, look at Qatar. In your oil, yeah. In your one in Nigeria and oil competition, oil. Look at how they are developing. But in South Africa recently, Akwe, the Wotuni, now what miracle court, I've forgotten his name, former South African leader, a man who has stolen the futures of South African youth. Not a course to convict now. The same youth now man I say when we wanted that, they were fighting. They won't allow for the man to be arrested. That is the level of thinking I the very Ghanaian youth now only Juman and MP for Kana Yerka Water. On the BNI office. Hey, bring him. This is a political vindictiveness. This is a political witch hunting on the same person. Until we rid our minds of these things, Mansa Musa, we are not going anywhere. We are not going to, because I believe that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah can answer no. Mansa Musa, before Christianity dominating your society, na ye beautiful for aname boy. Na ye bibi pa ansana obedi Christianity by ye wa ba dominate. And we did that say if you better see a team you go back to what was there previously, because Christianity over 2 BB and a Kwame Nkrumah once over and BB but they change the narrative. It's all about having a focused mind, but not a mind that you're through there. All that matters is to become a parliamentarian. All that matters is to hold the shoes of a certain MP, and you are the driver of the MP, and the whole world belongs to you. No, we don't have to think like that. And only a problem, no. To make the message, it is not about yanko for Bible and yanko for a hupo here. Matter about yanko for the other on the one enya power big woman na parliament ni nani yakodoni read the Bible kwati asam kwati abro.
I totally understand you and I understand him too there on this side in there. If that is what we are to do, people can easily misbehave after they are sworn with the Bible. They will easily misbehave than when they swear on some rocks or a piece of timber here and there.
No, but Mansa Musa, the problem is there. In your Bible, no do to me, ma, we are president.
That's what I'm saying there. I agree, because the point in there, a Kromhano, they are not guided, like you said, they are not guided by any deity or even the beliefs in the Bible. They are guided by the law.
Guided by any deity.
Oh, they are guided by the law.
Our Mansa Musa to one. Busumbi no trawa dia.
Well, and I mentioned that until we train
line up Abusun for Ghana and want to abide.
Exactly. Until we train ourselves,
President Nasha wants there one the presidency. It is in the 2 million thing. We make and or make the president.
Yes.
We make and or make leaders. Into say ya to aba, ako jine usum ewiem ato aba. Not the president no waba. No on the oye na. At the bosom number American there. Okay, they incident bosom.
Well, until until such a time we'll train our brains,
there is
to
no
think.
such a time. The time is now. This in America there. There was superior powers above them, but they changed the narrative. It is our reluctantness and because now.
No, the point I was trying to make was that until such a time that our minds will be trained differently to think like the way you are talking about, because Osajifo, in his wisdom, saw that his own generation, their mind were different. They were colonized. Their minds were colonial mentalities and slavery mentality. That's why he started to train new Ghanaian mentality, a new Ghana, a new independent Ghana through the young pioneer system for that next generation to think of a new Ghana. Unfortunately, they didn't allow him to succeed. So the indoctrination I told you about, the fact that when I started as a little kid, I was watching cowboys films, the High Chaparral and the Cisco and Pancho. This is what we were watching. American film, Americanized. They have trained all of us to look rather inferior on ourselves. It's a shame, but that is the fact.
We are also not doing ourselves any good, and I have always said, one of the things will eradicate all these things. It's our educational system. The Nigeria to oil, blah blah blah. Be my father, my uncle. Now oil lecturer or UCC. Only a scholarship, obey any PhD to America. I don't think 1 year scholarship will UCC because or do good profile or any first degree with UCC, the masters with UCC, the PhD with UCC. On sound anything.
Even that, it wasn't a problem because the Chinese do, the Singaporeans do. The people are learning from each other. We are also learning from the same people, but how are we applying it back at home? That is the problem.
Yeah, but Mansa Musa, you go and learn something which is not meant for you, something they didn't think about you before preparing it. How can that have an effect on your side?
Oh,
we need to have
Joe, American the mental education. Look, the Arabs who brought about algebra and algorithms and the rest that today we find in mobile phones, right? Education you have to adapt from far away or from the near. And so whether you go and study at Abuja School, University, or Timbuktu, or Legon, or say Harvard or Cambridge, you acquire knowledge, but how you apply it, because certain things are not meant for you. How to apply the law, how to make sure that equity, people, the things are shared equitably, not equally, but according to merit. That one, you can't say that, okay, it belongs to somebody else, it doesn't belong to me. So, learning and studying elsewhere any day, everybody does it. We don't know how to apply it to our advantage.
Then we have no cause to complain because the Akufa question and no governance and other my
who governance. No, still you are not getting it. Listen, Osajifo see the notio. Maybe out here. Osajifo, we are talking about Osajifo. This for this one you are wrong. Ekufuado learned something and he's doing something. Look, Osajifo went out as well. When he came to apply it. How to build a country. How to get the people together. How not to divide and rule. Oh, me Zmeni, Fantini. I remember even during the very first message about the independence. Oh, Mecca Fanti Kakra. He ended up not even speaking one Fanti. You see what I mean? The guy applied what he studied. And so, if somebody is just being wicked, now on to Minya Moria, it doesn't mean that
the reason why I brought the education aspect in America and the marriage in there. Look, Mansa Musa, we come from a country, we are endowed with resources, okay? Now, when our educational system does not help us to make good use of these resources, what do? You would have to go in to bring the foreigner. And these are the things I'm talking about. It's not about what you think about education in that broad aspect. Yes, of course, yeah, na you share BB free obi home. But what I'm saying is that we need to have an education that suffices our needs. Education that looks after
look,
the people.
What you have just said, look, let's take oil drilling, petroleum alone. I'm saying there, just all in all, let's say 50 years, Nigeria has been able to, okay, I need to take this call. You keep talking, Joe, keep talking.
Yeah, into all that I'm trying to suggest in there, it takes individual effort to change the narrative. Until when as individuals we make a conscious effort, we can change as a group as well, because individual effort they influence the group, and the group can also influence, and then we can make the change that we all need. But now we are now going to propose without challenging what confronts us. Now we are going to propose a third force. We are going to propose the nimpana ya to abama ono yanko fa bosom no mehwe wodo tidema poladomo chilekere is a yanko fa robot no mehwe galamse no do. Then we need to forget about it.
As for that one, the least said about him, the better, because in Kwasasem no reckon, in Kwasasem cry.
Yeah, but it will get to a time that is where the conversation will be, because it will be that them na conversation about at some point. You understand? So I feel that now collectively, but Mansa Musa, it starts with you. It starts with me. It is when I change one thing, I can help you. You can also help me. We change. We become 2. We become 3. We become 4, and then we are changing the course. You know, as na Ghana na na previous leaders the development already na it is not about loyalty to a political party anymore. We need to be blunt. If you Ghana say obi atena UK krom ha onim the party ba power obwa na nimpa no o mani wonya ho mfa so ne party ba power o ti afi ne ye ba bedidi. You understand? Otikrom ha, such a person, Otikrom ha. Onimne Krom ha, so one swabam can a party about baby, the name of Nimpa or Manim no, na, ye babe your own juma. And so Otikrom was Nimpa. When we don't change that narrative, when we don't change that attitude, Mansa Musa, you fought for Jesus Christ to cry by you, you'll be more corrupted. I'm telling you.
You are very right, yeah.
We need to stand up to leadership. For me, I feel that we need to stand up, and it doesn't have to be because John Mahama or a week. Into when it is John Mahama, we can organize 2 million demonstrations. It has to start with Akufo-Addo. Sebi. I wonder how even NDC Fukra. Akufo-Addo is 70-something years. And you look at John Mahama when he was around 60-something years. Look at the MPP for years. And so Akufo-Addo is 70-something years. NDC for say man here or today or today they can't do anything. And I just
Comrade Yusuf.
NFM Radio. I am saying when Comrade Joe Mo Kansan Bina, I'm interested in that topic. Maybe me can be sir. What Joe is saying, you know, I understand him what you're saying, I understand you as well. But you know, when you go all together and more in addition that, you see, it comes back to this saying which is many things, ideas that appears new aren't really new at all. And what has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. In fact, let's look at how countries that were like us as we are today, how the steps that they took to break through. For example, let's take the Chinese. So these are discussions that we were talking about. The Chinese people, they embark on what? The SME model, which is the socialist marketing economic model. And what in that model, they send Chinese all over the world, some to universities, to go and what? And study, and then come back to China. You see, and when they come back, the government will support them with what? Government incentives to establish. You don't come back and you come back to struggle on your own. So you see, the way to build our economy, you know, it is a total model that we have to use. And in this model, you know, that package, you know, it includes education. When we send our people to go and study, now if you almost promote degrees, you know, year study, say engineering, you know, so if it is whatever on all sectors of the economy, you know, when they come back now, government move on to support them, to get them settled on all the areas of the economy. You know, so they will not come back on their own and they will struggle. You know, that's why some people.
It's a shame that, you know, the mathematics, physics, and chemistry that we study everywhere, we cannot apply it, you know, to our benefit. It's a shame.
Mansa Musa.
Yes.
Mansa Musa.
Yes.
Oh, the American, the Chinese are nationalists. Oh, their model has been based on nationalism. You understand? You will not get a Chinese in the UK here telling party members there, and that is what we are saying. At the Ghana, in America, don't go school or Harvard. No, from Ghana, this attitude, not look at Ghana or the Chinese is not in America. First of all, we need to change our attitude.
Don't you think that, unfortunately, that ship has sailed after the overthrow of Nkrumah, that nationalistic or patriotism?
Exactly.
It's
not there anymore.
That ship has sailed, which is a shame. That is a shame.
But that is the way the Western world wanted us to be anyway. Because that's why they have problem with Russia, they have problem with China, because they go with that ideology. Today, Russia, the fight, nobody is talking. Apart from here, there are a few opposition and all that. But it is that nationalistic agenda there. Putin is fighting for the blood and soul of Russia. And so they defend it. China, the same. And that is what the Western world, because the Western world is all about. This globalization is all about.
Yeah, our time is up, so let's share it small. Yeah, Yusuf.
Yeah, all I can say is the nationalistic idea that he's talking about. It takes, you know, the government initiative to be able to sustain that. Because you see, I'm quite sure that when the Chinese people, when they send them out now, I think they sign a bond. You know, there must be something that will prevent them from defaulting.
Look,
you see,
I said because of the time. Look, let me tell you something. I have a nice gentleman here. He's you know, he's a senior citizen. I call him Openyin Kweku. Look, he was the first, among the first, the first grouper in Nkrumah Diobuko Soviet Union to go and study. These guys came back, you know, when they were there when Nkrumah was overthrown. But even still, they came back with that nationalistic patriotism imbued in them. Unfortunately, that leadership, you know, to galvanize people, as after Nkrumah, what's his name? A Champon wanted to bring, you know, we didn't allow. That ship has sailed. Let me ask Ambrose what he got to say here in Chatham. Ambrose. Hello, Ambrose. Ambrose, try me, bana, me check it. A microphone. Oh, that's strange. Ambrose, try you. Oh, mic, no. And I may be. Okay. This is strange. Your friend is saying, Yusuf, carry on. Whilst I'm looking for Ambrose's microphone.
Okay. In fact, because of the new generation, you know, and all these, going after money, everybody is like, we are so individualistic. And, there would have to be some measures would have to be put in place to prevent people from defaulting. So because this year no, make us say majority of your talented Ghanaians are who do say and crowd to say as if government pushes them now, they will be the future leaders on them channel in terms of engineering, economics, you name it. So science and technology. So these people government would have to what? Support them. But their parents would have to sign something. And also almost sign the say Yadimu Koino. I buy the Hamo, the Momuka Shia, Mushia Vipe, Munkamu Samuba, Mamba Chicho Mano. If you move here, Mosaba, Ubia, Obansis Banglows, home. There was Sky Betyamoka, Sabaya Mohun Chimoda, Yedia Pesamo Kona Moba, and Moba Yeduma, Edimo Omano, Utumpo, the Mumno, more Mabusha for a verse and parents, a best sign. I say Mukona Mudi for toi, and then I'm parents and I'm Momo, I do Mama twice. Simple as that because they will sign. They will sign. To Omukwaminia, they know say they are there for a reason. So
we need a proper, that proper leadership we are talking about.
Exactly. When these incentives are there now,
let's get Ambrose on this conversation. No, stay there. If you want to stay, stay. What's his name, Mr. Joe Woho?
Yeah, Mansa Musa.
Okay. Stay there for me. Whilst I'm trying to adjust, sometimes these things fail me. Microphones. Anyway, Ambrose.
Hello.
Yeah, Ambrose.
Yes, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Me started program in chair, Papa, but my teacher never made me know and I'm a Kasa. The first two, you know, the last person you Kasa in a dream. The problem is a Mansa Musa. The earlier two no mukano and Yanokre say one, Ghanaians are not patriotic. It's not true. Mansa Musa, my mama, just one example. Since Ghana discovered oil in 2010, if you go to Get Fund and scholarship secretaries, the government, the NDC government, and now the current government, they have trained a number of people in oil and gas sector. But the question is, the government spends huge sums of money to train people abroad. They don't even monitor them when they are outside. They send them to Coventry, Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, and others. They don't even track them. They don't even create avenue even to inspire them to speak to them. Nothing. Once they pay their fees, that's all. So, now even those are, I know a lot of people are me. I'm seeking a sponsorship. But they were struggling even to get a job. Now, what sponsor Nipa buying? Would the a municipal sponsor would be the Nako Abruchia? At the end, I will consider areas are gaps. No, into who train you or fill that gap. No, but Omukwa, when you make
and they are all coming to us. You who say you don't agree that people are others are saying people have lost that patriotism.
No more can maybe say Ghanaians are not patriotic, no more compare with China and others. My main example say, me China for the me the students I'm sure and both masters and Chinese for other nationals for with government sponsorship, they monitor them on monthly basis. When they finish, they go back. No, kind of phone, yes, Hey, I quite remember in 2011, 12 there about him, 2011. Ending of November.
The whole thing. We had and he said, but any said, you be in community now, no, you be skill only on education because you cap patriotism.
The education no more example. With the education no more example. What you say, and it applies to you can generalize it.
What say China bind the or monitor? Because the Chinese government is patriotic to its citizens and the country. But they don't even monitor.
Joe, let him make his point. Let him make his point.
And the issue is say the Mansa Musa okasa na me na me kasa.
And so obieja ma ana.
Yeah, say the government of the day no one create avenues, no one create platform no, for the people to come back. What you say? They will not come back because what any student, you have a number of professionals abroad. Sure, other Eastern European countries almost discover oil. You know what they did? The government trained a number of people when they discovered oil in the initial stages. Some of them returned, others did not. But what you know what they did? They track all of them, know where they are. It's when the oil was boom and they needed human resource in the area. No, they were able to what do you call it? Bring all of them on board. We didn't do that in the 70s. Ghana training people in the oil and gas because we did not discover oil in commercial quantities. Any other countries. What do I say? Some as to speak, some of them are still of those, you know. It can discover oil. Franco for free Nigeria, Indonesia, any other places, you know. We could have brought all these people on board. If say your country, Papa, your database, you to me tracking all these people. You could have, you know, poached them to come instead of poaching foreigners. What poaching? Remember example say you see almost Ghana gas. Now you have only few Chinese personnel from Sinopec. No pretty plant no. Sika na nipa bear 5 or 6 or whatever no moje no. Na e change the whole company no personnel no number no sika no moje. What I say? Until only the then government say no. Let's attach 2 students, 2 graduates to this expertise to learn from. Until almost about 2-3 years, no, when they realize they will be able to take over from them. They do not renew the visa of the Chinese personnel. So now, if you go to Ghana Gaza, it is 100% owned by Ghana. It is 100% operated by Ghanaians. And the other testers, we wouldn't be complaining, but we don't create the platform. The same thing, were institutions. So, if you go to KNUSC, if you go to Legon and other universities, they have good projects, but there's no link between the institutions and the companies. They've linked the investors from the company, but if you travel abroad, that's not how it is. Oxford AstraZeneca buy. Because there's a link between the government, the investors, and also the industry. That's why they were able to partner. AstraZeneca was able to partner Oxford University to produce the vaccine. Ghana, go to the university. They have good project works. Say Ghana, your man, my papa, and the person you for so free. Your institutions no more. They would have done that other time. Yeah. What is the problem? Are they being supported by the industry? No, because no, they are not local. Don't use the word that. Don't denigrate our students. The issue is say they have the link industry from the university. University, even practical, exactly, even practical, yeah, even practical attached. they don't provide a platform for them. What I say, they don't provide a platform for the student. Yeah, we go school for 4 years for university. University, we go 4 years as an undergrad. We say practical attachment. Where do you expect such a person to acquire the experience? Where? Where? It's as a young person, ya jeno, you see ya jeno, ye nim, yes, omunim. Ye mrana casacriano, a woman say, a human, because most of our laws, we are adapted from UK and America. It is also our near my bibria, ya choku, your constitution, a change the UK, you can most of the time we some common law. Yet they had actual, but you're from running Yajuma. Say, I say company, at least a sutumia, a disabled Yajuma, Nina, or Yamra move.
Let's say almost they have turned off electric, your friend saying, a lifter, a war hospitals in Ghana. So if you are a disabled person, how are you going to get to the top floor? That's the problem.
That is it.
Yeah.
Now, most of these new properties in Omoyeno, is it not being built by the government? Now, one factor in that the need for physically challenged people. Now, we are buying what you know. It is 1% man between pro. That is the situation. That's why I say I have a proposal. May make sure any government that I will give to no, I want them to even cancel the national service and use that 1 year for professional integration. What I say, I have a student student 4 years. 4 years for what? Mom got 3 years, only 1 year. So we cost 2 years. The third year, you use it for 1 year for practical attachment. Then final year, 4 years to come and complete your work.
No, as for the university curriculum or the what we call the package, the intensity, the whole learning package, that one I will agree. Say intensively 2 years, 3 years. Apart from being medicine, I'm here 6, 7, and infant 20. Engineering, especially 2 years a year, intensively you can achieve. But all starts with the secondary noir. Me say we should go back to the Form 5, lower 6, upper 6, because the year can away dear sa HS Ukraine. Well.
So they keep changing the
Yusuf, who will become?
In fact, what my big developers say, what America, other countries, European countries, after the Second World War, drain. Or maybe I was the leader of the country, or ultimately policies near monitor, because pure talent, what we say, talent, yeah, the work. Mansa Musa said, you go school, you say, we say, Obakaya, and you said, some of us know, you came across some students who are or sorry, I won't share there. And told them, my exams in Uru. I'm going to say yes. We had some people like that in my school. But what I'm saying, sir.
Okay. In any case, look, I still want to maintain this. You see, we are not discussing education and how to go about it. We are talking about, comrade friend Joe started with patriotism. We need to still base the argument on that. How to be, return that spirit of patriotism back into Ghanaians. Where I remember I was a kid, I don't know how old you guys are, but those days we share black and white Ghana film industry, almost black and white. You see people work and happiness. They are dancing, singing while building the Job 600. You see, today as we speak, I have a certain channel that I watch on the internet, Russia TV. When it is a time to start the news, they play their national anthem, almost 5 minutes old. It looks as if the whole verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. When they are playing the instrumental, they play all. So it takes almost 5 to 7 minutes. They are still trying to inculcate that spirit into the people. We need a leadership that will bring that nationalism or patriotism. Nationalism, patriotism. But at the same time, when we are doing this, what we call it, multi-party, capitalist-oriented democracy, I don't think we can achieve it. That is the problem.
You're right. And you know what, I would have heard from what I wanted to see, because talent is major. But let me talk about patriotism. In fact, patriotism goes with what? Incentives. Because say we be very patriotic. O kun won wa ye dwuma ma o man no. Na chiri wa be janesi ho no. So ho e de nasi nkwanche na nam e ka na first no. Say ayi student ya ye do won beko no wa kwa hwia de no mo ye pese won ba no mo be ye den. E be chichiro man no. There should be an incentive attached.
Yeah, but you see, it's all well and good. Me say, that's why I keep saying, I don't know your ages, but and now, apart from the personal incentives, the other incentives were that that one alone is an incentive. You see, it's not about the personal individual incentives, no. But the general, beliefs that, Abano or the leader, no, or Yebibia, other boy, it will spur everybody on to take up the challenge. But where they feel that, you can okwa, where would that be the incentive for anybody?
Yeah, but Mansa Musa, I'm short.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, I hope I'm watching.
Yeah, I think we are all, at least we are missing the point here. The American patriotism or whatever starts with the leadership. To the American, he was the leader. He led the direction, on the policy direction by the EDH. You understand? And it is only when the leader brings about that policy that we can all pull that line. Today, Nana made Papa Americano. Okay, Russia for China for the students, but they monitor, and that is what we are talking about, the patriotism, because the government cares, and the government has a policy offered to implement or monitor for their publicity. Now, when the government is itself not patriotic or monitor, are you getting it? And for me, it is not in America Day. It is not only about Yamfang Kofunko Bruchi, Nkosiande, Nombra Nabwa, that Mansa Musa. Russia, Ukraine will give a blessing in disguise to especially Africans. Because look, the grains and all that has stopped coming, we should have taken advantage. Students going on national service, why don't we have a state farm? It is not only about sending them to abroad to go and learn anything. We can do patriotism by having a state farm. Let them go and work on a national service on the state farm, and then we get the grains. When we export those things, we make money. We can build houses for them. We can pay them well. We can we've got all, because if you are on Sheka, if you have a loan or Shabusia Yabo, yes, some Funko scholarship in Scotland, in America. Let's carry a away.
No, as for that necessity is also there. I mean, we cannot do it in a wholesale, but it is very important there. No, as for learning abroad, as for that one, we cannot, we cannot emphasize it enough. No.
The question is, they are learning to come and do what?
No, Joe. Don't let us talk like that. People, listen. Whether you have a child, you have a child. Joe, you have a child in UK here. Joe, you have a child in London here. If he qualifies for from the Cambridge and now Oxford, and later he wants to master in tropical medicine, and so let's send him to Nogochi. Who are we to say, oh, everything is in this country, so he shouldn't go to Accra to go and study tropical medicine? That is what we are talking about here. Fair enough. That I agree with you. But yes.
For now, the state is in distress. How can we recover before we can do all these things? We have fertile lands.
Let us do the mechanisms and all that to do rice farming, to do maize farming, to do plant sugar canes and all that. Let us get the students and these things on board. So when we've been able to
unfortunately, all this thing, it comes down to, I'm saying, leadership. Look, for the leader to lead, or for the people to believe that, as we saw, so Rollins atwitwe ne military green no watwitwe wa folding the arms no na okuta shovel ejina gotem na baby na railway lines no oni ye na lifty baby na odua bro baby ni yeswa your friends abe. You see, this kind of it brings the enthusiasm for within the people, no, to the fore. Then it carries through. But if we are practicing this multi-party democracy, where each one for himself, God for us all, it's very difficult to to breed patriots. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
Mansa Musa, I mentioned about I say upon because me time now almost 20 years.
Mansa Musa, you are perfectly right. You see, if we talk about patriotism, the leader must exhibit patriotism.
Yes, must lead,
and that will inspire the people.
Exactly.
Say, President Beka say a man who are or say my man who say on one kasa exhibit a man who are will cut down the cost. Only just say a leader and a patriot into or compare or say because of this intimate taxes, because of this the people will follow. But if the leader fail to lead, this is what we see.
Exactly.
So the leader who is leading will create the enabling environment.
Yes.
Will create the platform for the people.
Yes.
But if you fail to create a platform, where do you expect the people to use as a springboard?
Many we are going. Listen, Mr. Yusuf, 1 minute.
I would say leader, you should lead, with, a good example. So, maybe to say technology transfer, Ghana, you develop what? You have to, put in some policies via some initiatives via a bit me, either Abwa, a Mabuno, Amomo, Ekimetu, and a Mopa. Something like technology transfer. Also, now, because a penny road in Sako, now to railway lines and all these things. We could have negotiated with the Chinese forum. Now you're saying you see trains, you're saying you see a railway line, and the other day. All this into play. Now, Koto Tohoma said will be Mayer. Somebody like Apostle Kodusafu, and Yagupo Ina Maya Wagana, and who, yes, who two Sanamano, Abantuano.
All right. A good point. You've also made your point. Joe, 1 minute.
Yeah, Mansa Musa, I think we agree that the leader has to come out with a policy and then also not pay lip service to that policy. They need to be seen acting. But I feel say it is in our way, say we as the citizenry, we rather have to push the leadership to do something, because in as much as that policy is not coming, we are the losers. And so I feel say, as individuals, we need to push leadership to act, because leadership, they are in a comfortable zone. I think for the 77 next and cry in your UK, he is in that position. So I think we need to push leadership to act after all. The leader and the we cannot always say the leader has to bring a policy. If the leader is or draw up an initiative or a policy, or is writing something, it is up to him and all of us. Let us push it and force leadership to accept it, because it will benefit all of us. We should not just sit down there and wait for leadership. They are educating their children abroad. They are buying mansions for their children. For how long are we going to sit down there and wait for them until Jesus Christ comes?
Okay.
We have a role to play.
But that's a bit brave. Ambrose, 1 minute.
Yeah, the Americans say the leader must lead and must exhibit patriotism. Just recently, NDC times, they experienced it. There was one man, as a professor or doctor of America, been helping China near the speed train. He has brought the proposal to the then government. They didn't listen. This government, he has been here. One can was setting up one of the what do you call it? IT Ghana. Was some between my what the estimate in Abria by 1 year speed train. He wanted us to just build one speed train from Accra to the north, so that we can link it to then when it's become a more lucrative, you make money out of it, you can extend it. They didn't.
NFM Radio.
You have your own Ghanaian who is an expert in the area. They develop the technology for it. And other countries are utilizing it. Yes, you want to sell it to you, and you fail to buy. You fail to ask him what do you call it? Allow him to help you. That is the patriotism we are talking about.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Yami Boachina and you may Robert Twaso. Medamu nyina say. The back can say I will follow a friend say me topics now me de bano, so that even if you don't listen to all my 3 hours, at least you know the topic I brought. So the we are problems, Mansa Musa, but this is not where you started discussing, but you have changed it. Anyway, the person is very right. Next time will be a bar. When I send out the link in the topics kindly look at what I've written there. It's not very long. It's not like my write-up, which is sometimes very long. No. But the topics, please read it. So that when you come prepared and you can come and speak your mind. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, all of you. Have a good evening. Cheers. Bye-bye, all of you.
Thank you. Bye.
So this is where we bring the curtains down. Thank you all and one. Or they say one and all. I appreciate your time, your presence, and your contribution. Tomorrow evening, Mansa Musa will be here. Inshallah, God willing. We'll come and continue to serve Mother Ghana. I love you all. And I know the response is always mutual. Have a great night. Cheers.
NFM Radio. Emudaho. Radio. Minia, see fire will burn you. I want NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa Ede Bro. A Joda Copem Memneda. And Renon song, a Copem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.